Oh, I think the chair has been either abandoned or Dermot's turned invisible. So good afternoon and welcome to THFC Till I Die, the home of Tottenham past and present. And I hope that you're all well this afternoon. I'm going to quickly say hello to the one person that's already in here. That is Mr. Wayne Bonner. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope we're all well, my fellow Spurs sufferers and tortured souls. I take it Conte hasn't been sacked yet, as I've heard nothing. I've also heard nothing, so I assume so, Wayne. I assume. Oh no, he's not invisible. There is an arm. Okie doke, he is there. He's reappeared. I've read out Wayne Bonner's. Read out Wayne Bonner's thing already, just so let you know, because I thought I would do that while you were.
I've just completed a scientific. Hang on for 1 minute, Mia. Just keep there.
Oh, dear, this is what happens, you know. I get left to run the ship. I don't know if that's actually a good thing, to be honest with you. If that's a good thing. Well, how are you, Wayne? I hope that you're well this afternoon, and that things are okay for you on this Monday, which is a bit dreary on my side. I don't know about anyone else's, but it is dreary and horrible here. So, not a nice one, and especially after that weekend's performance. Let me know what you think, Wayne Bonner. What do you reckon about today?
I'm back. I've just completed a scientific survey, how quick I can get upstairs, downstairs with a bad back. And I've realised with 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go on the countdown, I cannot do that. So tomorrow I will be doing it longer if I'm here. If I'm here.
Okie dokie. Well,
Dermot's playing peekaboo again. Yeah, I like playing peekaboo with you, Wayne Bonner, to be fair. It's the highlight of my day. Just coming in. Oh, sorry, wrong way. Coming in and coming out for you. There you go. You know, it's like Conte's playing peekaboo with Daniel Levy with his lovely shiny bald head. Me and Mia were talking in the background about Conte liking Levy's shiny bald head, and he's patting it like Blofeld. So, you know, could be something kinky going on in the Tottenham boardroom. Who knows?
It could be like you rub a Buddha's belly. Maybe it's like rubbing Daniel Levy's shiny head. Maybe he gets the old polish out as well. He likes a bit of polishing on his head.
Mate, you're putting very funny thoughts in my head. Oh dear. Oh, Lord.
Oh, thank you, Wayne. You're too kind. He said
I bring it up here, Mia. I'm good, Mia. Thank you. How are you? Good stream this morning. Caught it. Yeah, it was a great stream this morning, Mia. I did watch it.
Thank you very much.
I have to say, you are the jewel in the Tottenham community's crown, in our little crown anyway. You are the jewel. But a great show as always, and everyone's happy. Right, shall we crack on with the show?
Well, now that you've actually decided to turn up for it, yeah, why not?
I've been late for my own fucking funeral.
Honestly, leaving me to run the ship was not good. I was like, he's gone. He's not here. Where is he? Why
No,
isn't he
it was.
here?
I was trying to go upstairs. I tell you why, my back's gone, and that's why
Yeah,
I'm
no,
walking with
no.
this at the moment. I'm thinking I'm due to go to the hospital tonight. See, can I sort my back out? I'm looking to get my back fused. To be fair, um, I'm in lots of pain with it every day, and I thought I could get up and down the stairs with a crutch by the time the intro had finished, but I've worked out I couldn't.
No.
So there you go. Oh damn it! It's making me one of those special streams again with those comments.
There's nothing like that in it. But if that's how you take it, Wayne Bonner, then that's up to you. That's on you. I know.
Yeah, look, Mary O'Callaghan said it again. Do you know you can't get good old Mary down? And Wayne Bonner, how are you doing, Dermot? Look, I'm in pain, but I'm all right. Could be a lot worse. Could be Daniel Levy and Conte this morning having a meeting. That would have been interesting watching that meeting.
I'd love to have been a fly on that wall.
Oh, big up, Wayne. I hope you're doing. As you can see, I've turned the Tottenham shirt the wrong way round, like Sheldon does when he turns the flag the wrong way round in The Big Bang Theory, saying there's trouble at Spurs. So Højbjerg has gone missing. That should be a scent. Right, let's crack on with it, Mia. Right, we'll start off. Well, actually, no, we're going to start with this from your man, Mr. Romero. Apparently, Christian Romero issues you Antonio Conte rant response amid Daniel Levy Tottenham decision. This is what he has read, Mia. Christian Romero issues a rant response. I love the players. Let me take that off. Sorry. I love the players of my team. I love them, my club. I know that we are going to move forward, and the time and work of all together will tell us where we will go. I've been here for a short time, but we're going to be together to achieve important things. More years may pass, but we will try. What do you reckon to that response, Mira? Is that a dig at Conte, or is that him trying to rally in the troops? Like a few times he is.
I think that it could be seen either way, can't it? And like only he knows. Like I'm not into his head. Now that is definitely something for a late show.
Yeah.
Anyhow. But
we are doing just quickly, Mick. We are doing these what we did on St. Patrick's Night. We're doing them once a month.
Okay.
So the next one we're gonna test the boundaries of YouTube, how far we can push it. But me and Philip are gonna do Amir as well, and we try to get Ellie involved in this. Do you remember the video we showed with them with the Pochi, with the Gardays running onto the island with the Pochi? I don't think you were with us, Mia. We're going to do that as a separate content, me and Philip, and we're going to try to get you and Ellie involved in it as well. So we watch for that for a bit of fun. I think we need a bit of fun after what we've been through this weekend. But look, let's get back to Romero. Do you know, we all know you want to be his Masurus. We all know that he is the Tottenham Rottweiler. Where do you think he stands? Is he Team Conte or is he Team players?
Well, being that he's a player himself, I would have thought that he would be team players. But I think also he wants the players to do better because I can see he's somebody who probably is like, come on, guys, we need to do better. I can imagine him being a bit like that. Although he didn't do that good himself in the game. So I think none of them particularly turned up for the Southampton game, if I'm honest. So I don't think he did particularly well. But I think he's just basically trying to put out to the fans as well that the team's going to try harder. I think it's more of a message to the fans than anything, I think, personally. I don't think it was a dig at Conte. I don't think. I wouldn't think he would be like that because I don't think he's that kind of player.
No, he I don't think he is, Mia. I think he's more, he reminds me a bit like a Graham Roberts or a Steve Perriman. He wants the best for the team, but he's prepared to sacrifice himself for the team for the win. But I think there's a bit of Conte in him. I can remember Conte playing back in the day, and he is a bit like Romero in a way for myself. But look, that's probably one of the responses we've got very quickly after Conte's rant. He put this out on Instagram, I think. So do you know? Was he trying to send a message to Conte? Was he trying to send a message to the fans? Do you know? It's hard to know what he was trying to do. You could look at it in many ways, can't you, Mia? What he's trying to say here.
Yeah. Like I
Do
say,
you,
we don't know him. Like we
no,
don't know what he's truly, what's in his heart when he's typing that. So yeah, it's quite difficult, isn't it, to
yeah, it is.
sort of know.
It really is. But that's Romero. But we will go back now to the main talking point, which is Mr. Conte. And Sky Sports journalist gives the very latest on Antonio Conte's Tottenham's update, as I could read. Right. Speaking to Conte and Spurs, Conte's actually returned to Italy. Now, we are in the middle of an international break. Now, the players have 2 days off, Sunday and Monday. So the remaining players won't be back at Hotspur Way onto Tuesday. But Conte has returned home. It's when Conte has returned home and crucially has provided an update on the state of mind since the interview, believing the Italian is now probably wanting out of the club rather than continuing. And he quotes there, I'm quoting him now. He says, Antonio Conte is back in Italy. I think it's touch and go if he keeps his job as Tottenham manager or not. It's up to Daniel Levy now, wherever he takes any action over Conte. As far as the players go, they expect it's a matter of time before he leaves. They're upset by the fact he questioned their commitment to the club, which, do you know what? I'm glad this has got a reaction. And he was right in what he said. My sense was this morning that Antonio Conte actually wanted to continue as Tottenham manager, but I am now not sure. Now, this lunchtime, the understanding is he didn't speak out. He didn't speak out because he wanted to be sacked, but because it's been something inside him for a long time. I've now been told there is a growing sense that it will be difficult for him to continue as Tottenham manager. Now, that's the first bit of hint, Mia. We've got that. Excuse me for a minute.
I'll just continue on. Yeah. That is the first hint, obviously, that we've got that it's not as good as what they might have made out, because obviously the meeting was said to be he kind of smoothed it over a little bit, but I was never sure about that because people did say he kind of did call out the board as well. So I'm not entirely sure if if they were fully satisfied with his explanation of what he said. I suppose that they're going to have to talk about it, and now they actually have got time to talk about it as well. So I guess that they've now got the time to actually think about what he said and mull it over a little bit. I guess he's got that time to sort of then for going, what's going on, and to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, and look for me, Mia. Look, I was always very much. I hope Conte stays. I hope Conte's here next season. I think it's the best thing to happen to. So I just bring it up there to Tottenham Hotspur. Now after what happened Saturday, look, I think he was right in what he said, Mia. I'm going to stick by that, and I think he was right to do it how he did it. And I've been thinking a lot about this since last night's show. Look. He's sort of crumbled back on what he said about the board, which a lot of people now are coming out calling him a flip-flop, which is fucking hilariously funny. Don't try to laugh at me, but it is funny. But for what he said about the players, I think it's spot on. And I think it's the only way to get into their skulls that they're not good enough. I mean, we play Southampton. We should not be losing 3-1 to the bottom side of the Premier League. Let's be realistic here. 3-1 up, 15 minutes to go. He is known for tightening the ship, bringing on defenders and letting it and tighten up and hunker down. Let's get out the 3 points. That's how he won stuff with Chelsea. That's how he's won stuff with Inter Milan. That's how he's won stuff with Juventus. I think he was manager of Juventus. So he knows how to win games. But I think he's now come to a realization that Tottenham is too toxic. Tottenham is too corrupt. Not corrupt's the wrong word. Tottenham is too I think Tottenham's too broken to be fixed. And I think it's going to take a rebuilding job of an immense money, resources, time, patience to get us back to where we were before. Now, is Poch up to that job? Maybe Poch is the man for that job. Who knows? Is Conte the man for that job? He could have been. But as far as we know, Conte's still the manager of Tottenham Hotspur. He still hasn't announced if he's staying or going, but I think what happened on Saturday, for what we just read in the Sky Journalist from Italy. I think where it was 60-40, he was staying. And now I think it's 60-40, he's going. That's my...
At the end of the season, or do you think before the season ends?
Look, are the players going to play for him now after what he said?
Probably not.
Some of the players will take it on board and say, right, I'm going to show you that we're not what you said we are. Now, that would be a Højbjerg. That would be a Romero. That would be a Kane. That would be probably a Sonny. That would be probably a Hugo. That would probably be Skippy, or Bentancur is injured, but if he was playing. But the players like Dyer, Sanchez, Tanganga, Ben Davies, they'll all go running to Daniel Levy. Oh, get him out, get him out, get him out. We don't want him here. He's upsetting me. Them the players that needs to go, not Conte. They're the players that have let the manager down again and again and again. They let Poch down. They let Jose down. They let Nuno down. They've let Conte down. Are they going to let Poch again? And Poch is going to come back to the same place that threw him under the bus 4 years ago. And on top of that, if Poch does come back, why did we sack him 4 years ago then? We've just gone through this 4-year process for nothing. So, I think his job is untenable after what he said. I think it was right in what he said, but I think it should have been. And as I said before, I stand by what I said. He was right to say it in the way he said it and where he said it. It was the only way to get it through to them players, thick skulls, that they are useless. They can't play. They weren't playing for him in that second half, Mia. You cannot. Nobody can come on here in the comments or on this channel and tell me that some of them players have been playing for Conte for the last 4 games. They have not been.
So if they weren't playing for him, why would they give up after half a game? They wouldn't start the game and try and win the game. It's silly to say halfway through a game they decided not to play for Conte.
Because
I don't believe that for 1 second. No, I believe that Conte knows that our backline isn't that good and doesn't want to change his tactics. We should have carried on pushing them. We shouldn't have allowed them to come on to us. Why, if you're worried about your defence, would you allow that to happen? He's too rigid in what he does. He won't think to himself, hold on a minute, this is different to other games. This is different to other teams that I've done. Right, let me look at it. Let me assess it. If they come on to us, we've got a weak defence. Let's not do that. But he doesn't. He lets them back. He lets them come on to us and we know what's going to happen. So part of it is his fault too. Sorry, but it is. And he doesn't want to hold his hands up at all to any part of it. He wants to blame everybody else, which I agree is the players letting us time and time again. I completely agree with that. But he's also got to hold his hands up. I'm sorry, but he does.
Yeah. Well, look, it's...
in my opinion, obviously. That's just
I agree with you, Mia. I agree with you. Look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that, look, what he said wasn't right. Let's be fair. But it also doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that he should be taking the blame, yeah, but it also is not rocket to see them players are not playing for him. I mean, I've watched Conte quite a lot. Conte is a defensive manager. So at 3 went up 15 minutes ago, the first thing he's going to do is try to honk it down and take the 3 points out of there.
But he knows that doesn't work, Dermot. He's seen our players time and time again concede goals. So why would you keep doing the same thing, expecting different result? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, this Conte, he is a stubborn manager.
That's on him, but he never ever said I made the mistake. That's the problem, isn't it? Because although the players should be getting massive, of course they should be getting into like that. What that he said is true. Of course, yes, I completely concur. He was saying it's easy to blame the board and easy to blame the manager and not blame the players, and I agree. And don't get it twisted. There's some players in there that have been our best players and they don't turn up as well sometimes for finals and for other things. So it isn't just our defence, other players too that have been there and they've let us down. But he also has to take a little bit of that blame and he didn't. He refuses to. his ego gets in the way of that, and
Exactly,
that to me
Mia.
is a problem.
Exactly, he has got an ego. Josie had an ego. Alex Ferguson had an ego. All the top managers will have this ego, and they will not take responsibility for their own mistakes. Look, I don't disagree in what you're saying. I actually do agree in what you're saying. But I'm more looking at on the pipeline of these players have these players had to be told. Now, he may have told them this in the dressing room, and they still won't listen. And they all have these team meetings, and they all tell each other what they think of each other. Then we get a one-game bounce, and then we're back to the same old shite again. It's got to the point where I think there's too many egos in that dressing room. That includes the manager and the players. Now, are we going to do?
Oh, okie dokie. Sorry, guys. It is just me for now. Again, I will read out some of these comments. I don't know if you are still here. Oh, he's back again.
Sorry, it was really playing up. But the point I'm asking is, do we need somebody to come in there who has no connection, no ego, just a normal Joe Blog manager who can get the best out of the players? Probably a bit like I'm going to not believe on the playlist, but Ryan Mason, somebody along that
Probably not someone's inexperienced as Mason, I wouldn't have said. But I do think we need to maybe change the way we play football, because a lot of people do have a big issue with that, understandably. Yeah. I think that maybe the style of football is a big issue for a lot of people, like I say, which I do understand. So I think a manager that we can just all get behind, because I think Conte still did always divide opinions. I think we just need a manager to get behind, a bit like when we did get a Poch, to give us something, you know. I think that's all what people want. People just want to have something they can sort of hold on to in a way and be positive about. So I think probably a manager who will, like I say, play some good football. And Enrique, like, he plays good football. Why not bring someone like him in and play a bit better style of football, play a different formation, a different way, and then back him, give him some players that he can work with and see what happens, because I think we need to get rid of a lot of players. Like lot of players need to be gone. Like, I do agree with that, you know.
Yeah,
I do agree with that.
Let's get through some of these comments, Mia, and we will come back to this as well, because I'm actually enjoying this conversation, to be fair. Mr. E, big up Mr. E, he says, I don't know who Antonio Conte's head clinic was, but they did an incredible job. Photos of him as a footballer for Juventus showing with a bomb fluff on his head. Yeah, he had incredible hair back in the day. He really did. I say Mia, if Mia was young then, she would have been saying, do you know a bit of Conte? I look after him.
Do you know, I've seen pictures when he was younger. He's a good looking guy. He's got like lovely lips. He wasn't ugly when he was younger.
See, again, Mia's away.
No, I'm just saying, like, you
just have to mention Italian or Argentinian, and that she's gone.
There's something about them. There's their feistiness. They've got that hot blood in them.
Yeah, a bit like an Irish man. Always hot blood in an Irish fella, right? Big up,
but you look like ghosts, so not so much for me.
Thanks, Mia. Right. I'm Casper the Ghost, by the way. Right. Good afternoon, Dermot and Mia. Big up, Wayne. Big up Mick Harmlett. Great to see. Wayne Bonner says, interesting that inevitable. Thank you. I still say he will call that. I still say he called out the board by ranting over the players' mentality and attitudes. It is a fair criticism from him and had to be done. Yeah, it did. It really did. He goes on to say, Conte's not a flip-flop, but the main important focus of this rant was the players. Too many of them ain't good enough. And that's the thing. We're going to get back to that in a minute. Wayne Bonner, our beloved Tottenham is fractured and a troubled club. It's a poison chalice for anyone. The cracks have broken open and may not be closed for a very long time. On this point, Mia, have we gone into civil war now with Tottenham, with the club, the players, the manager, the fan base? Have we actually entered civil war between all of us?
I think we have a little bit. I think these comments have divided people even more so. Some people are saying because it's aimed at the board that they're on Conte's side, where other people are saying he shouldn't have done that publicly, like what Philip said last night. And I sort of do agree with that. In a way. So yeah, I think it has definitely caused a lot more division. And Conte is known for that, though. He is known for coming into clubs, and towards the end, he does get toxic. Ask any Chelsea supporter, and they will tell you the same. They will tell you the same as happened. You know, like he is a bit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Look, for me, Mia, I think it has civil war has broken out within the club, within the fan base. Look, this has divided the fan base very, very much. Look, we all know Conte's a fiery fire manager. We all know that. We all accept that. Now, we all know. I was watching what's his name on YouTube last night, Ali Gold, and he said people have been expecting this. And to be fair, we all have. We're all waiting for the time he explodes. Now, if he's not getting what he wants, Mia, if he's not getting the players he wants in the transfer windows, now has he been backed? I don't think he's been backed fully. I think he's been backed partially. Was this always going to end in the way it possibly is ending, Mia, with Levy and Conte? Was this always a marriage made in hell?
Yeah, I don't think it was a very good fit because we know what Conte is like. So I do think that it was a bit of a difficult one. Like I didn't ever think. I always was a bit like, that's interesting to see how it goes. But yeah, I did think it was expected because, like I say, ask any supporter of Chelsea and they will tell you the same, that he left their club and didn't leave it in a very good way. So. I think it is a him thing. Like he does do that, so it's not really that unusual.
Well, I'm checking with somebody who I trust fully for the very latest on the Conte situation. Now, I can't. Oh, hang on, wrong email. The latest I know that is there was a meeting. Now he hasn't been sacked yet, but the next few weeks could be interesting. That's what he told me. Now, does that mean that we've got somebody in mind? Now, Levy will need a manager to roll in there straight away. Or, Mia, does he turn to Ryan Mason for the last sort of 10 games of the season? Where do you think he'll go? What's your what's the word I'm looking for?
Intuition.
Yeah, telling you.
My intuition's telling me that he's going to have someone lined up because I feel like this has been coming, and I think that they knew anyway because he was going to leave in the summer. I think they already had people that they were talking to, and I don't know if it would be that how difficult it will be for them to get that person that they've got in mind quicker. So I feel like they've got someone lined up, but if they're not able to get them initially like the quicker than what they thought, they might have to put Mason in as just a temporary thing because maybe that person can't be out of their contract or can't be bought out until the summer end, like till the season ends. So I feel like that's might be what happens.
Yeah. Well, there is a latest here I can give. Now, this is from where is it from there? This is on Tottenham's website. Sorry, wrong. Oh yeah. It's actually from a man called hang on, am I looking at the wrong thing? I thought I was. I had it here. Now, there's a name being mentioned for the Spurs job, Mia, and it's the Celtic manager who's doing an absolutely fantastic job up in Celtic at the moment. Now, Tottenham are looking at a young, up-and-coming manager. Now, who would you like to see take over from Conte if he does go? Do we have to do like a Man United and get a Ten Hag and say, right, we follow you, you have all the say, we do what you want? Or has Levy and Enoch been so tight that they're doing it their way that they've become too stubborn themselves to change? Do you know, it's okay getting a manager in and asking him to change. Do Levy and Enoch need to change as well?
Well, the thing is that Conte has had the most amount of money spent in the transfers. So they've given him money. So I don't think that they wouldn't give a manager money. It's about if they spend it wisely and spend it on players that the manager can work with. And if the manager that we get is going to be more easy, go in and say, okay, if you got me this player, I will play him, i.e. Jed Spence. Because we're going to have players that for the new manager that comes in, we're going to have a Destiny Doji, we're going to have a Spence that's going to come back. And we're going to have a Basuma at some point when he's not injured. So he's going to maybe have to have those players, and we've got to find a manager that will be like, okay, I'll accept that, you know, like they've got to also understand the situation when they come into that job and sign on that dotted line. So I do think that we have to find a manager who is going to do that. For me, I think that the Celtic manager is good, but I don't know. But I think, like I said, Enrique, for me, Luis Enrique is the one that I've been thinking about more to get.
But we had this search. Look, Conte is still in the job. Let's get that straight. Conte is still our manager until otherwise. Is there a way for him to come back from this and stay with us and stay next season? Or have all the bridges been burnt now, Mia, completely?
No way. No way is he going to be able to stay after that. No way. I don't think so. Not at all. There's no way back now.
Stranger things have happened, Mia. Stranger things have happened.
Listen, if I grow to be 5'6" by the morning, there's more likely for that happening. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think you're lovely just the way you are. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, Wayne more on here. Levy will give Mason the job. This is what I think will happen. I agree with you, Wayne. Levy will give Mason the job to a new gaffer comes in. Mason is stability and knows the players better than Conte, but that's just my thoughts. No, I agree with you. He said, if they bring in a new gaffer, I'll go for the same person you're going for, Mia. His style of football will suit our players, especially if he goes for the back four. Right. The question I want to ask you, Mia, is this, right? Whoever we get in, whoever we if Conte goes and we get a new manager in, do especially with the Paratici thing as well, do we have to back him with the players he wants and break from this cycle of getting players that the club want? Is this part of the problem as well, Mia?
But we don't know exactly. Like, I feel like that people want to use that because it's an easy go-to. But I think for me, that we all wanted a backup for Kane. We all said we need a better backup for Kane. So we get one, and everyone says, oh, well, that's a club signing. He definitely did want Perisic. So that was probably a Conte signing, in my opinion. I think that the signing of Longley was because none of the other centre backs that he wanted would come to us, so he got Longley. So that's another Conte signing. Maybe the Basuma one, I don't know if that was particularly his signing, but we all rated him as a player, right, and thought he was good. So now that he's not turned out good, people are saying, well, that wasn't a Conte signing. If he was a good signing, people would have said, oh, it's fantastic, Conte got it right. We're using hindsight again to judge players on who was Conte's and who wasn't. To me, being backed, right, is a difficult one. I feel like we need to get somebody who's going to be the director of football, who's going to get players to suit a certain style of manager. So you get a certain style of player that a manager gives them information for, say this kind of player in this position, blah blah blah, and then then they go and say, listen, we've got this player, and this player that you can have available. Are these players all, you know, like one of these, yeah? And that's it, because we can't. At the end of the day, if players don't want to come to you, you can't do nothing about it. If players can't be bought out of their contract, there's nothing we can do about it. So we've got to be realistic in what we say, who who is coming to the club and what backing the manager is. Because if it's a player that doesn't want to come to us, it's not that we didn't back him, it's just that they didn't want to come. Like, we can't do nothing about that. So I think we just got to be a bit realistic is all.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mia, on that. Look, we've got to be real. Look, here are the 10 managers tipped to become the Spurs boss if Conte does leave, according to Sky Bet, which, look, they will know something quickly before we do, to be fair. So we've got Pochettino in at 2-1, Brian Mason in at 5-2, Inique at 9-1, Marco Silva at 10-1, Vincent Kompany at 10-1, Thomas Tuchel at 12-1, Robert De Zerbi, the manager of Brighton, at 12-1, Thomas Frank, the manager of Brentford, 16-1, the Celtic manager at 20-1, and then I think that is the Juventus manager at 20-1. Are all roads looking to Poch, me?
Well, I hope not. I really do hope, because I think that Poch is always going to be led to us. As long as he hasn't got a job, it's always going to come back. It's always going to be, Poch is going to go to Tottenham. I just want him to go and get another job, so then we're not linked with him no longer, because I'm getting really bored of it and I don't want him to come back. But if he comes back, I will obviously back him because he's our manager. But I don't want him particularly, so I just want him to get another bloody job, and then I can just stop hearing that name, because we don't want to go back to our ex.
No.
Our ex, although people love Poch and they want to hold him on this pedestal, he still didn't win us anything with the best team that we had. We didn't win against a Leicester team, the league. We could have won against Leicester, but he bottled it. So I don't want a Poch back. I think it's too soon in his career. I think he needs to go and have more experience elsewhere and maybe come back to us later on in his career. I think it's too soon right now, personally.
Yeah.
And I know people don't like that because they love Poch, but I don't get that sense. I do get sentimentals in. I love it, like what he done for us. I love him and I loved what he did, but I'm not that sentimental about him. I want what's best for the club, and I don't think he's best for the club right now. That's my honest opinion.
No, I agree with you, Mia. I absolutely agree with you. Look, for me, Poch coming back is not what I want. I don't want Poch back. We've had Poch. We've done it. We've been there. We've bought the T-shirt. We went to the Champions League final. Obviously, there was a breakdown in communication between himself and the players and himself and the board. He was sacked. And then we've been on this merry-go-round, Mia, of Daniel Levy taking Viagra, getting really excited, looking at the Mourinhos and the Contes, getting super excited, sitting there and just rubbing his bald head thinking, I've cracked the jackpot, and realising it's turned into a bloody nightmare. Though, to be fair, he should not have sucked Jose before 6 days World Cup final. That's one thing he shouldn't have done. Look, I've heard a lot of streams saying it's all Levy's fault. That's it. It's all his fault. Everything is Levy's fault. You've got people saying, no, leave Levy alone. It's the players. We seem to be quite balanced on this channel where I think Sava, watched him a bit today, and big up Sava. Everyone got over to Sava, and one of the nice blokes on YouTube, to be fair. Sticks to his principles, like what he has to say. Don't probably agree with them all the time, but I do like what he has to say. He always has good shows. And he was saying that the blame is like a big apple pie. Everyone has to take responsibility, Mia. So when you see people just blaming Levy for everything, or people just blaming the players for everything, do you feel, Mia, that responsibility has to go all the way around, but it has to be everyone has to be fairly blamed, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was on... Sorry, go on.
And what way do you think Levy actually doesn't deserve the blame for the Conte debacle, what we're facing now? As you say, he's been backed more than any other manager. So has Levy gone down the road of, look, okay, I'm going to back you. We'll do what you want. Okay, Spence wasn't his signing, but Spence was a club signing. But has Conte also said, well, look, I'm going to compromise. So do you think Levy deserves all the blame he's getting at the moment?
I don't think anybody deserves all the blame. And I even said it yesterday when I was on the stream with Sava. Sava went and I said, I've got to say, I'm starting to agree with him more and more about loads of different things, which is funny because I think we thought we initially didn't agree, but we did agree. But I don't want to mention obviously other people's names, but I'm just doing it in a positive way, just to not anybody who clips it up. I'm not saying it in any negative way. I agree with what he said about the pie thing. And Sean said the same about the pie thing as well. Again, not a negative. I'm doing it in a positive way because me and Sean, I get on really well with Sean
I mean,
anyway.
I mentioned the pie thing, Mia. I mentioned it then, and it's
Yeah,
the right analogy to use, to be fair.
yeah, no, it is. I think it's the correct analogy because I feel like the pie seems to have this big like Levy shape because obviously it's a bit like his head, I suppose. It seems to be this Levy shaped pie that everybody wants to put onto it's just Levy. Well, I don't actually truly believe that. I believe that there's blame to be laid at everybody's door, and that pie is big enough to everybody to have a slice. Like everybody get a slice. You get a slice, and you get a slice, and you get a slice. Like everyone gets a slice of the pie. I think that that's what I personally believe that everyone should be getting a bit of that pie. So yeah, I think that people it's easy just to say it's just the players, or it's just Conte, or it's just Levy. I think that's easy if you're going to try and blame the person that you don't particularly like or players that you don't particularly like. So it's easy, or Conte. If you don't like Conte, it's easy just to put it all on Conte. So yeah, I think that I try and be quite fair with my criticism of everybody. So yeah, I think that there's enough pie for everybody to have a slice.
Yeah,
But they don't get no cream or custard with it.
No. Yeah, I mean, Mia, look, do you want to answer Wayne? But I'll just go into this phone call. Do you want to answer Wayne Bonner's comment here?
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep, no worries. I'm not a Levy fan. I don't like his transfer policy and business, but Conte knew all that before he signed with the club, so he can't have any complaints about what he agreed to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Wayne. If we get another manager in, they're going to have to know the same thing, right? If they sign on that dotted line, they obviously discuss what things are going to be, what things are going to be done. So I don't really understand, like if was there an agreement to have compromise, we don't know what was said, but I assume that there was some sort of compromise like said to had, like there was probably something said about we have to compromise maybe on this or we have to compromise on that. I don't know, but I do feel like that he should understand that when he came to the club, I don't know if he was really sold that much of a dream because everybody was saying, oh, Conte, he didn't criticise Dyer. He said we didn't need any centre backs because he won't throw players under the bus. But here we are, and he is throwing the players under the bus. So why didn't he do it before? If that's his attitude to throw players under the bus, if he thinks they're that bad, why didn't he do it before? It feels like he's doing it now because things are going wrong for him. So he isn't taking any blame. He's not putting his hands up. He's just blaming just the players. When he knew the deal when he come in, I just don't know. Like I just feel like he should have sort of known what he signed up for. I do feel like that is very true.
It is very true, Mia. Well, look, I think we'll leave it there, Mia. Big up, Wayne. Thank you for all the comments coming into the show today. Look, sorry it's a short news beat. Hopefully I think we're not on tomorrow, having tomorrow off, then we're back on Wednesday with Newsbeat at 4:00 and then with a show on Wednesday evening. We may just do one long show at 4:00 until 6 or 7, something like that. Me and the Godfather. Mia, when you next on Spurs Between the Lines?
It'll be Wednesday morning, Dermot. I'll be doing my live at 8:45 a.m. If you can join me there, that would be fantastic. Obviously, Greenwich Mean Time. So yeah, if you can join me, I'm going to release maybe another video. I think that one of the ones I've already done. I did actually last week a couple of different kinds of videos, just because we don't always want to talk about what's going on now with Tottenham. I just thought I'll go back in a bit of the way back machine and talk about a bit of our past. Like I thought that'd be quite nice. I've done a couple of videos on that, so keep an eye out for those as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go another phone call. I'm sorry about this, Mia. I really do
No
apologize.
worries.
Just answer Wayne's Bonner, then I give my answer.
Do you think he's struggling to deal with the club's demands of Champions League qualification? I don't know, because he isn't a manager who generally does well in cups. He generally gets people into winning Prems and into top four, right? So I don't know if he'll be struggling with that. Other managers have managed it, so I don't know. I don't think that he is going to be struggling with that personally. And if he is, why is he? Why would he be struggling? I don't know, because I think Jose had a worse team and he got us into a final at least, where Conte hasn't got us into a final. So even if he was struggling with Champions League because he was trying to get into a cup, I would understand. But I don't know. The club's demands of it, I think that um, most people know that that's a demand. I think like most managers will know at the beginning that's what you have to do. And he signed on the dotted line. So again, he signed that contract to say that about it, if that was part of their discussions anyway. So I'm not entirely sure that he is why he would struggle with that, if I'm honest. I don't know what Dermot's going to say about it, but yeah, that's my honest point of view with that one, Wayne. I think my battery in my computer is about to die, which is definitely not going to be helpful. Hopefully Dermot will be back in a moment, guys. Let me know what you think, Wayne. Let me know. Make sure you all smash that like button as well. Please smash that like button, as it really does help with that algorithm. You can also become a member. So, like a Wayne here, he's a member. You can pick up one of those for us. That would be fantastic. It all helps with the channel, so it will be very much appreciated if you could do that. And if you haven't already, go over to Spurs Between the Lines. It's a little channel, nice little community. I know that Wayne Bonner is already there, so I'm not speaking to you clearly, Wayne, because you're already there. So yeah, anyone who wants to jump over to that channel and give it a follow. Yeah, I think you're right. It's definitely a clash. Levy wants top four, Conte wants top spot. But then wouldn't he have known that again, Wayne, when he signed? Would he have not known that when he signed? He would have known that Tottenham, when he looked at Tottenham as a club and our positions previously where we finished, wouldn't he have known that already? So I don't know.
I am very sorry about that, Mia. It's just everything's just happened at once. Since I go live, my phone just lights up with different people ringing. Sorry, I
No
really do
worries.
apologize. I didn't mean to leave you in the lurch.
That's fine.
Look, for me, to answer Wayne Bonner's question, do you think he's struggling to deal with the club's demands of Champions League qualification? I think he is. I think he is struggling. I think he's struggling with the whole. I think any club he's gone into, Conte's been given full reign. You buy who you want to buy, you get who I want to get, and you do it my way. That's why the clubs he's been at have been successful. He's coming to Tottenham where we do things in a different way. And I don't think Conte gets that. I don't think Conte can understand that. He's never been a checkbook manager, Conte, but he's always been allowed to buy the players he wants. Now, Paratici should know this, with knowing him and how he worked with him at Juventus. So he should know how Conte works. Now, is this coming from the top that Levy is saying this is the boundaries you have to work within? I agree with you. Conte should have known that coming in. Now, if he's now coming in saying, well, look, I didn't know, then he must have come in with his eyes closed and his ears closed. Because this is the situation you got. It's not like any other football club. We work within boundaries here at Tottenham. So, to your question, Wayne, yeah, he is struggling because he's not getting what he wants. He's not doing it his way. He's doing it Daniel Levy or the club's way, which is not working. He's having to work with players that are not good enough. Everyone can see we needed a centre back in January. He comes out, all my centre backs are fine. Now,
But
is that a Conte saying, or is that the club telling him, look?
well, no, because if he's someone who can obviously throw players under the bus now, why didn't he just throw them under the bus back then? So it's only when it's going wrong for him that he's now thrown the players under the bus. And we
But
couldn't get the players we wanted, Dermot. The players that we wanted didn't come to us. They couldn't come to. They didn't want to come to us. They've stayed where they are. So it wasn't a case of they've gone to another club. So it's not like the club did say, actually, no, you're not having any centre backs. We did, I think we did try, but I think they didn't want to come. So I don't know what you like. That's not really down to the club. Again, we've got to be realistic. And if
yeah,
Conte
I
doesn't want
know
no
the
one
players didn't.
else,
I know the players didn't want to come here. I'm not saying we didn't go after these players. What I'm saying is he's come in to work in a different restraints. He didn't work under these restraints at Juventus. He didn't work under these restraints at Chelsea. He didn't work under these restraints at Inter Milan. He wanted a player. The money was there. They went and got the player he wanted. Now,
he's worked in England, so he should know what
yeah,
Tottenham's
but
like. Like, that's
he
very
worked at
naive.
Chelsea, Mia, where they spent money like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah, but he must know about Tottenham. What I'm trying to say to you is very naive to go into a contract when you clearly are going to be told probably what the restraints are. I don't believe the club didn't tell him that there are certain restraints, that he's not going to be able just to buy whoever he wants.
Or did the club tell him what he wanted to hear and then he's found? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I don't believe that. I think it's gone wrong for him, and then all of a sudden he's saying he's trying to chuck everyone under the bus because it's gone wrong.
Look, I think it's a lot of things. I think it's the players. I think he's been looking to expose, but also you got to look at it as well, Mia. He's had 3 deaths this year. He's away from his family. So, bless him. Does he need time to grieve over the people he's lost? His closest ally within his team passed away. So, he's been under a lot of strain this year, one thing and another, and maybe it was just an explosion of letting it all out, and I think it came out at the wrong time. Maybe I don't know. It's hard to know. But look, I think we both agree, Mir. He was right in what he said, but in the wrong place, and I think we can agree on that. I think that's true. But look, the next few days are going to be very, very interesting. If it breaks any time, day or if it breaks at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, either myself or I will be on live to give the latest breaking news on the Conte situation. As we know it, as it stands, Conte is still our manager. There was a meeting. He is going to be still our manager for the time being. Levy is waiting for 3 managers to give him the go-ahead that they will take over immediately. If not, then Ryan Mason will probably take over for the remainder of the season. But as we know, as of now, there's no news out of Tottenham Hotspur. There is no news from Antonio Conte. He is still the manager of Tottenham Hotspur. But watch this space. Things will change very, very quickly over the next 24, 48 hours. We could see Tottenham Hotspur with a new manager. Mia, again, thank you so much for coming on for me at the very last minute. Ellie, get well soon. I hope you're feeling better. So everyone, please get over to Spurs Between the Lines. It's a great channel with a lovely, lovely person. And me as one of my close friends here on YouTube. Got great time for her. Lovely person. Have great conversations with her. When she comes on, she always speaks facts and always gives it to you straight. And so fair play to you, Mia. And thank you once again. You really are a diamond for jumping in at the very last minute.
Right.
Just a few more things. Wayne Bonner agreed the whole signing makes sense. Agreed the whole signing makes less sense as things progress. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
And he also says this whole situation would take as an in-depth major stream to cover. Still wouldn't cover it all. More questions to open doors than answers. Well, look, I think this week, me and Philip, and I think us on here, will try to do a debate on this. Look, there's plenty of legs on this. And as I said last night, could Conte be another one who bites the dust? I still stand by that. I think he will be. I think Conte will not be here. And I've always said Conte will be here next season, but the more I've listened on this stream and the more I've listened to Mia, the more I've listened to the chat, the more stuff I've read, and the person that I trust has been telling me, I have a funny feeling we'll have a new manager or Ryan Mason in charge of the game away to Everton after the international break. It's going to be it's going to be a funny 2 weeks for Tottenham Hotspur. But as always, thank you for watching. God bless you all. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We will be on again very, very soon. Please, everyone, get over to Mia to Spurs Printing Lines. What are you on now, Mia? Subscribe, boys.
I'm on 258 currently, Dermot.
Right, we're 2 away from 260. Let's get Mia up to 260 before the night is out. Again, thank you so much, Mia, for coming on. Whatever you do, look after yourself. But as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on,
new
you
manager
Spurs.
we trust.